explain. I am her husband's brother's daughter's only sibling's sister. What are you talking?
You don't know blood relation?
I think you should watch Sarika's videos.
Motherfucking Eagle Double G. Snoop Dogg. You know I'm mobbing with the D.R.E.
So guys, before starting the sums on blood relations, there are certain symbols which we'll be using to represent certain categories. For example, I'll be using a circle to represent a female, a square to represent a male, a cross to represent a couple, and dash to represent siblings. So siblings are your real brothers or sisters. Now why do I do this is because अगर आप ये symbols use करोगे or any symbols for that matter, solving blood relations will become very easy. ठीक है? So before starting with the actual sums, let's understand a family tree. Let's see family tree कैसा दिखता है. So let's say this is me. Okay? Sorry. So let's say this is me. Okay? Let's say I have a brother. Okay? So he is my brother. He is my sibling. So I'll put a dash and he will be my brother. Okay? I'll put a dash. Let's say I have a sister also. So she will be my sister. She is also my sibling. So again I will put a dash. Okay? Now let's say I am married to a guy. So he becomes my husband. Okay? I am married. So we are a couple. So I'll put a cross. Okay? Now let's say my husband has a sister. Okay? She is the sister of my husband. So she will become my sister-in-law. She will become my sister-in-law. Okay? Now let's say I have a father. Obviously he will belong to a generation above me. Right? So he is my father. Okay? Who is married to this lady. So she is my mother. And I'll put a cross between them. Because they are a couple, my father and my mother, generation above me. Now, let's say my mother has a sister. Okay? My mother has a sister. Correct? So, who is she? She is my aunt. Okay? She is my aunt. Let's say my father has a brother. Okay? My father has a brother. So, he becomes my uncle. So all your chachas, chachis, taus, tais, everybody will be your aunts and uncles. Okay? Now, let's say my mother has a mother. So she is my grandmother. But she is my maternal grandmother. Maternal means mother's side. So she is my maternal grandmother because she is my mother's mother. Okay? Your mama's side. Now, she is married to this guy. So I'll put a cross and he becomes my maternal grandfather. Okay, he's my maternal grandfather. Now let's say he's my father's father. So he's again my grandfather, but he's my paternal grandfather. Paternal matlab papa's side. So he's my paternal grandfather who is married to this lady. So she is my paternal grandmother. She is my paternal, papa's mother. Okay, paternal grandmother. So this is my generation. This is generation above me. This is generation above that. Okay. Now let's look at a generation below me. Let's say she is my daughter. Okay, so she is my daughter. Alright. Let's say my brother has a daughter. My brother has a daughter. So she becomes my niece. She becomes my niece. Correct? Now, let's say my sister has a son. मेरी sister का बेटा. So he becomes my nephew. ठीक है? He becomes my nephew. Now, let's look at a generation below them. Let's say my daughter has a son. My daughter has a son, so he is my grandson. ठीक है, he is my grandson. Let's say my daughter has a daughter also. So basically these two become siblings, right? And she is my granddaughter. Okay, she is my granddaughter. So here we can look at 5 generations. Your generation, generation above you, generation above that, generation below your generation, and generation below that. Generally 95% of the questions are asked on these 5 generations only. इसके ऊपर या इसके नीचे generally जाते नहीं है. So now let's look at the word problems. Let's see how do we solve it. Now see, look at this question. How is my brother's father's daughter's daughter related to me? So you have to make a family tree. Don't try to connect in your way कि मेरा brother's father. Don't try to do that. Make a family tree. Try to solve it. You will never go wrong. ठीक है. Now what is given is my brother. So my brothers. Father's fathers. So my brother's father's daughter. इनकी daughter मतलब his sister. ठीक है. My brother's father's daughter's daughter, her daughter. How is she related to me? Now you will not call her sister, because please remember, in blood relations, brothers and sisters are only those children who are the children from the same parents. अगर अलग पेरेंट्स के चिल्ड्रन है, so they will just be your cousin. You don't call them as brother or sister. So understand, these two guys are siblings. I am the child of this person and she is the daughter of this person. So how is she related to me? She becomes my cousin. So cousin is the answer. Whether it's a male or a female does not matter. You will only refer to that person as your cousin, and if you are the children of the same parents, only then you will be referred as brothers or sisters. That's it. ठीक है. चलो, moving on to the next question. See what is given. If A is the brother of B, so A is the brother, so A is a male. A is the brother of B. B is the sister of C. So B is the sister of C. C is the father of D. So C is the father of D. How is D related to A? ठीक है? How is D related to A? Now they are not asking you how is A related to D. A कौन है D का? They are not asking you that. They are asking you how is D related to A. The problem is I do not know the gender of D. मुझे D का gender नहीं पता. So D could be a male, D could be a female. So D could be a nephew of A or D could be a niece of A. So it could be nephew, it could be niece. I don't know the gender. So my answer becomes option D, cannot be determined. You cannot determine the answer because you don't know the gender. ठीक है. And please don't assume anything. ठीक है. Now moving on to the next one. How is A's sister's grandfather's only son's only child related to A? ठीक है. Now let's go step by step. A's sister, okay, A's sister's grandfather. But the question is which grandfather? Maternal grandfather or paternal grandfather? You don't know. So you will have to make 2 cases. Okay. A's sister's, let's say paternal grandfather. So father's father. This is one case. You will make one more case. दूसरा case आएगा A's sister's mother's father. ठीक है. Because maternal grandfather is also possible. He is also grandfather. He is also a grandfather. Grandfather's only son. Now in this case, he is the only son. Okay, only sons, only child. Now this person is supposed to have an only child, but he's already having two children ना. He's already having two children. तो only child तो possible नहीं है. So this is a wrong case. This is not a valid case. Now let's look at the second case. Is sister's grandfather's only son. Only son means her brother. Grandfather's only son will be this guy. ठीक है, उसका only child, ठीक है, would be this child. How is this child related to A? Now this child could be, so it could be a male, it could be a female, doesn't matter, but they are the children of different parents. So this child will be the cousin of A. ठीक है, that will be your answer, option 2, cousin. ठीक है, I hope you've understood the difference. चलो, moving on. Introducing Sonia, Amir says she is the wife of the only nephew of the only brother of my mother. How is Sonia related to Amir? ठीक है, it seems to be a very complicated question, but trust me, it's a very simple question. So what do you do is, you start with Amir's relation. Amir का relation क्या है? He said my mother. ठीक है, she is the wife of the only nephew of the only brother of who? My mother. So he's talking about Amir's mother. So let's say this is Amir. ठीक है, Amir's mother. Amir's mother. Now go back. Now go back step by step. The previous part is only brother of my mother. इनका only brother would be this guy. ठीक है, only brother. उसके पहले बोला है only nephew. इनका only nephew कौन होगा? इनका only nephew would be Amir only. ठीक है, तो Amir's, so basically this guy's sister's son is Amir. तो only nephew would be Amir only. And she is the wife of this only nephew. Only nephew था Amir. She is the wife. Who is the wife? Sonia is the wife. So Sonia is the wife of Amir. That is what it means. The question is, how is Sonia related to Amir? Sonia is the wife of Amir. So your answer becomes option A, which is wife. ठीक है, चलो. Now moving on to the next question. Let's see what does it say. If $Q means P is the father of Q, P hash means P is the mother of Q, P star Q means P is the sister of Q, then this shows which relation of Q to N. So what is given is, देखो, N hash L dollar P star Q. They're asking you what is the relation of Q to N. Basically, how is Q related to N? Very simple question. देखो, पहले क्या बोला है? N hash L. Hash means N is the mother of Q. Sorry, N is the mother of L. N hash L, N is the mother of L. Now L dollar P. Dollar means what? Father. So L is the father of P. तो L is the father of P. ठीक है, then P star Q. P star Q means P is the sister of Q. ठीक है, P is the sister of Q. So this is your generation 1, this is your generation 2, this is your generation 3. The question is, what is the relation of Q to N? They are not asking you how is N related to Q. They are asking you how is Q related to N. तो देखो, Q could be a grandson of N because considering a male, but Q could be a granddaughter of N considering a female. Now because you don't know the gender of Q, it could be a grandson, it could be a granddaughter, We are not sure. So your answer becomes option D, data is inadequate. ठीक है? So if nothing is given in the question, don't assume a gender. ठीक है? Don't assume a gender. Alright, chalo, moving on. Let's see what does it say. Pointing to a photograph, Reena said, he is the only son of the only child of my grandfather. How is Reena related to that boy? Pointing to a boy. So there is a boy where Reena is saying that he is the only son. Kiska son? Of the only child. Kiska child? Of my grandfather. So we'll start with the last part, which is my grandfather. My grandfather means Reena's grandfather. But Reena's grandfather could be father's father or mother's father, right? So we'll make two cases. Reena's grandfather could be father's father, or it could be Reena's mother's father. Okay, now moving back to the previous part of the question. Only child of my grandfather. So he is the grandfather. So he becomes the only child. He is the grandfather. She becomes the only child. अभी देखो उन्होंने क्या बोला है, उसके पीछे जाओ. Only son of this only child. ठीक है? If this is the only child, उसका only son, he is the only son. Only son means this is the guy. मतलब he is Reena's brother. Right? He is the only son of this guy. This guy's only son. But this guy can have multiple daughters. Right? Similarly, if this is the child, uska only son would be this guy. ठीक है? He is the only son, but she can have multiple daughters. Right? And Reena is one of them. So, Reena is one of them. The question is, how is Reena related to that boy? In both the cases, Reena becomes the sister of that boy because he is the only son, इकलौता बेटा है, but there can be multiple daughters, many daughters. Reena is one of them. So how is Reena related? So Reena is definitely the sister of that child. ठीक है? I hope this is clear. I hope you guys have understood and enjoyed the video thoroughly. So if you have some doubts or queries, or if you have some topics on which you want me to make videos, please do mention them in the comment section below. Also, if you have any friends or family preparing for any competitive exams, do not forget to share this video with them. Please do like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much.